So let's see if these Gym Reapers, that's not the right fucking pocket. Let's see if these Gym Reapers was just a kind of a bad first impression, or if I really just don't like them. I'm gonna try them here for these bent over, uh, bent over rows. Um, Obviously, I want to go kind of heavy. I mean, this I wouldn't say this is um back breaking weight for me for a bent over row. The real weight, again, it's not 315 as much as I'd like to say it is. I think it's 280, 285, 290. So it's still, pretty heavy, especially going beltless. I'm not gonna have a belt or anything. But yeah, these when I use these on um the plate loaded row machine, it just I don't know, it just I explained it, so I'm not gonna go super deep on this, but I think okay, I think it was two reasons. Let me quit stuttering here, for fuck's sake. Um, I think one, I'm just used to my weightlifting straps, therefore, um, these just felt a little awkward. And two, what I really didn't like, I think the main reason is that as I was pulling each rep, this would start to slide down this way, more on my fingertips, more and more, and kind of it would slowly. I mean, if you could just imagine this on this hand, it would start to slide down and start to open up my hand more and more. And so I was almost kind of pulling with an open hand, which obviously, you're not going to feel as strong, and it's just going to feel like shit. Just plain and simple, it's going to feel like shit. So yeah, I was not a big fan of that. I wasn't. Um, but I'm gonna try them again. We'll see if you know the more I try them, the more comfortable and just overall just a better experience, and I can figure out because sometimes you got to figure out little tricks and little things to do to make something better. Um, but yeah, I don't know if you can tell. I think you can. I set the camera up to where you can see at least one. I have these little plates as markers because you know, whenever I've been doing bent over rows a lot more, and sometimes my feet will be a little misplaced, and I'll be pulling, and it feels like my feet are too far back or too far forward. And when they're too far forward, I hit my fucking knee, and that feels fantastic. I love that feeling. Um, but yeah, so I set these plates here during the warm ups when I found that a good sweet spot, and now I know to kind of put my toes right up against those plates. Voila, should be perfect foot placement almost every time. Um, I don't know if I want to do overhand or I don't know, man. I can already tell. I don't know about these, but I'm gonna try them. But anyways, I don't know if I want to do overhand or reverse. Um, let's try the overhand. I think these are the reverse. These just don't feel very. Let's try overhand. I don't want to be I don't want to be negative here, but I can already just feel and tell. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try it though. Yeah, no, that's just. I'm not a fan. I like to feel like I have a firm grip whenever I'm doing any lift really that involves my hands. And these, yeah, it's quicker, but it just feels looser and it starts to open my hand up. and the more they slide down, I'm sorry, Jim Reaper, but I'm just not a fan. I'm gonna grab my old weightlifting straps and watch you do his first set. I just don't like them. Oh, that worked so good. Didn't even have the energy to rack it on the fucking whatever it's called. Damn. Whew. That was good. It just, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a comfort thing, if I'm just in my head too much about it. But I just feel better with these straps. So until I find something better, I'm gonna keep using them. Good first set though. All right. Don't be afraid to take a little longer rest periods between sets here. I mean, don't be. I wouldn't say rest 10 minutes or something, but if you're usually like me and a lot of your accessory stuff that you don't quite push the weight and climb up on the weight, um, usually I'm resting like 2-ish minutes, give or take. But on something like this, where one you're bent over, so that blood kind of you'll feel it go to your head a little more, but you're also bent over, so you're kind of compressing your core, which can make it a little harder to maintain your breathing, keep a good, nice, steady breath for each rep. So yeah, to kind of make sure you're ready for the next set after something like that. Again, like I said, especially if you're climbing up in weight and kind of pushing the boundaries for what is heavy for you. Not even pushing the boundaries. This is heavy, but it's not. Like I said, it's not crazy. But whenever you do start to get heavy with something like this, it's okay to. I think it's okay to extend your rest just a little bit. So instead of 2 minutes, maybe three, four, maybe even five if I need it. Just depends on the day. But, but yeah, I mean, 10 minutes is probably a little excessive. I wouldn't do that. All right, set number two. What did I do in the first one? I think I did 12 or 13. So 10 or 11. Well, I know for sure that was 10, but I think it was actually quite a bit more. Now, if you're watching this, you're thinking, motherfucker, you're not completely bent over. You're kind of standing, not straight up, but maybe close to a 45-degree angle. I'm doing that on purpose because that's what I'm doing, more of the Dorian Yates kind of row. Instead of completely bent over like this, which is, it's just naturally going to hit more of your rear delts, mid back, and if you kind of flare your elbows enough, a little bit of traps in there. But you can see, rather than bending over like this, standing up right here, I say, is where I'm fully locked out. I can kind of drag it up my leg more like this, which naturally, without even thinking about it, is going to focus on your lats more, which is where I'm needing the most in my back, I think. So, and I'm still thinking about it, with a good mind muscle connection. But again, you can just kind of see the visual representation bent over. It's hard to even drag that up your leg. I mean, I guess you could, but you know what I mean? When you're fully bent over, natural position is more like right here, which, I mean, yes, you're going to hit your lats, but not as much as if instead of here, you go by right here. And you can see the difference. Just kind of drag it up your leg. And that's how Dorian Yates did it. All right, let's do one more. Usually on the drop set, I go down to 1 plate per side, but I might try 2. I might. I want to go a little heavier on the drop set. I obviously won't get as many reps. That's the point, Challenge myself with a little more weight this time. We'll see. We'll see how the next one goes. That'll determine everything. Ooh, this set is much harder. Ooh, much more difficult on that one, which is exactly what I want. Let's go down to 2 plates. Let's push it a little bit today. Uh, oh, that was something. But man, was it good in a terrible way. All right. Let's do some pull downs. And that drop set took it out of me. Ugh, that was good. That was really good. But yeah, so now pull downs. Um, the main job here is, well, really with every exercise I do, but you know, the main job is get a little stronger, but mainly, like I said, to build muscle. That's my main goal right now. Um, so best way to accomplish that, I have no idea how that happened. Um, best way to accomplish that is, you want the weight to be challenging, challenging enough within the right rep range. Um, with pretty good form, good isolation on whatever muscle you're hitting, uh, but not too challenging, to where you have to cheat a bunch and you actually start to take away the emphasis and the focus on whatever muscle group you're trying to hit. You know what I mean? I believe in cheating, but not not until maybe you're at those last 2 to 3 reps. You can throw in some cheat reps there and just add a little something to the set. But so yeah, you want to go challenge. You want to make this weight heavy enough to do the job, get you a little stronger, or at least a step in that direction, build a little muscle, but not too challenging that it just completely lose form. You completely lose focus on the muscle and all that. So it's a fine line to walk, but as Johnny Cash says, you know, you got to walk the line. So or something like that. Um, and the more you train, the better you'll get at this. But I have it on 17, which just maxes out at 20. It just goes by numbers if you're confused. But yeah, it maxes out at 20. 17, considering I've already done 3 sets in a drop set, pretty tough. Um, I'm gonna be doing reverse close grip. So I'd say around 12 probably is what I'll get. But if I could do more, I will, and I'll up the weight if I can. That was 15, I believe. But just like I said, with a couple of cheat reps at the end. So do I really want to go up? That is $1 million question right now. Um, because without even going up in weight, the next set is going to be more challenging. I'm just fatiguing my body more and more with each set. So, kind of makes sense, right? Without even going up in weight, unless you're just going so light and easy that you can afford to go up after a couple sets. You know what I mean? That wasn't the case there. 15 was pushing it. So without even adding weight, it's going to be more challenging on the next one. I wouldn't be surprised if I was right around 12, like I originally said. So do I even want to? You know what? I won't add weight. We'll say 17. I'll just might quicken the pace a little bit. I'll rest another minute, and when I'm done talking, go right into it. Kind of see what happens when I do that. Man, my lats are fucked already, which is a beautiful thing. It really is, but kind of sucks when it happens this early, because I still got one more here at the drop set probably, and one whole other exercise, 3 sets. You know what though? I'd rather have it this way than probably the complete opposite when you do a whole workout and your pump just feels like shit. So I'm not gonna complain. Just something worth noting that my lats are already pumped and getting pretty fatigued. So what a workout this is turning out to be. I am feeling it. Makes me question everything sometimes. But then I snap back to reality. And I remember 14 years, man. 14 fucking years. I'm not gonna waste it. I love this shit. Fucking love it. Even on the days where I do question it sometimes, which it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. I don't care who you are. I think everybody at some point, at least once, questions. And it doesn't even have to directly relate to this, to the gym. It could be a lot of things. But if uh, if you're really, you know, I was gonna say if you really love it, but not even that. It's just have that mindset of usually most things worth having and fighting for and doing. It's not easy. That's what makes it worth it. This is definitely whooping my ass today, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it. Let's do one more back exercise, and I might wrap up after that, honestly. All right, coming back to old reliable here. What has become my favorite back exercise, the high to low cable row. I feel like every time I try to describe this movement, I have a different name for it. I don't know what it's fucking called. I've seen it done once by someone else, um, and I just know ever since I tried it, I freaking love it, and it worked. That's all I need to know, really. Um, but you get the benefit of the stretch of a pull down, and then the contraction of a row, so you're getting a little bit of both, and it just works great for me. I love it. Um, so yeah, let's. I'm gonna do this overhand because the reverse grip, I guess, on the rows and the pull downs, it actually pumped up my biceps a little more than I thought and that I want. I want this to be mainly back, which it is. My back's more pumped than anything, but just to kind of keep my biceps out of it as much as I can, I'm gonna go overhand here. 3 sets and a drop set. I think I went into that a little quick. I needed just like another minute or so of rest. You wanna know how I know that? From the very first rep, I could still feel the fatigue from the previous exercise and set. It actually, the first rep was harder than, say, about halfway through when I started to get some blood flowing and everything. Yeah, I still felt that overall fatigue. I could feel it, which there's nothing really wrong with that, especially if you're an endurance athlete. You kind of want that. You want to train that way. But for building muscle, that's not optimal. You want to be as recovered as you can for each set. Obviously, the deeper you get into your workout, the harder that's going to be, just from overall fatigue. But generally, that's what you want. You want just enough rest and recovery to where you're as ready as you can be for that set, but not too much that you start to lose your pump, you start to lose that blood flow, that just that ability to lift the weight that you're lifting. If you rest too long, it can actually have the opposite effect. So yeah, let's do. I mean, other than that, it felt good. I think I need a little more rest. So let's do a couple more with the drop set, like I said, and I think I'll be good here. All right, whenever you can barely raise your arms at the end of a workout, you did something. I don't know if I should say you did something right every time. Probably most of the time you did, but you definitely did something, and I did something. To even raise my arms right now, I am super pumped. But I didn't record this stuff. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But I did 3 sets of chest, just some cable flies, nothing crazy. Um, Moderately heavy. I think on the last set I was struggling around like 12, and then maybe I did 2 or 3 more after that. So like I wasn't going crazy heavy. And then I followed it up with a set of deficit push-ups, very slow, almost negatives, max reps, body weight, and then I rested like 20 seconds and went straight into with the dumbbells that I was using to kind of prop me up off the ground. I went straight into bent over rows. They were only, I mean, they're right here, 35 pounds. So I think I did like 40 or 45 reps of that after. So yeah, I'm pumped, man. Very pumped. Um, whew, I like to be able to lift my arms a little easier than this before I actually start posing. Fuck it. Let's go right into it. Hopefully, I got something. That was pretty dumb. I tried to talk without my mic. Anyways, I was trying to say, hopefully, I got something good there to even raise my arms to hit those back poses. I mean, they were jello, fucking jello. So that was, I mean, I don't know how good that was. I fucking tried though, okay? I tried my ass off. It's like I said, hopefully I got something worthwhile there. But that's it, man. I'm gonna go hit some abs, do about around 400 total reps, different kinds of crunches. I might do a quick little cardio session even after that, maybe like just 15 minutes on the bike or something. Um, yeah, for the exciting stuff, the stuff that you guys like to see, that part's over. The weightlifting portion is done. So I'm gonna hit some abs, maybe hit some cardio, and be back tomorrow for chest.